Sometimes when I'm praying with the scriptures, so typically I'll crack open my own Bible. I love praying with the scriptures in my own Bible because you can look up other things and see notes, things that have jumped out to me over the years, things like that. And I was praying through this first reading from Zechariah, and there was no notes, nothing underlined, nothing in the margin around it. And I was praying through it, and man, it just leapt out at me. It leapt out at me, it just stopped me dead in my tracks. Sometimes, that just happens. You're reading these scriptures and something just knocks your socks off. This is what really blew me away. Thus says the Lord of hosts, in those days, 10 men of every nationality, speaking different tongues, shall take hold, yes, take hold of every Jew by the edge of his garment and say, let us go with you, for we have heard that God is with you. That's an awesome, awesome image. This image of foreigners, pagans, non-Jews, Gentiles, men of every tongue and nation, being so moved by the presence of God in their midst, right? What was the psalm we just sang? God is with us, right? That they're shaking these Jews by the edge of their garment. I love how Zechariah says, by the edge of his garment, and say, let us go with you. Let us go with you. Here's just what moved in my heart that I just want to share. I want that to be true of me. I want that to be true of me. I want that to be true of you. I want that to be true of every single parishioner here in this parish. It's what I pray for every single day. This desire that we would become a people so compelling in the minds and hearts of people around us. It's related to the gospel that we just heard. James and John, they enthusiastically asked the Lord if he would like them to call down fire to consume these Samaritan villages for their resistance to receiving Jesus. And Jesus rebukes them. And he rebukes them not for their impetuosity, for their stupidity. He rebukes them because to call down fire upon them was not their mission. It was his mission. It was his mission, not theirs, right? What did Jesus say? I have come to cast fire upon the earth, and how I wish it were already blazing. What will he do at Pentecost? He will unleash fire upon heaven, upon earth, from heaven upon earth. Again, it's not the kind of fire that James and John are thinking of. They use the word consume. The fire that Jesus sends upon earth is the fire that fills but doesn't consume. Right? Just like the burning bush of the Old Testament, it was on fire but not consumed. Just like Our Lady, on fire but not consumed. The Sacred Heart of Jesus, it is burning for Sacred Heart of Jesus. The Sacred Heart of Jesus is burning for Sacred Heart of Jesus Parish. His heart is burning for this city. His heart is burning for the lost and the lonely, those who used to fill our pews, who've left our pews, those who've never been to our church, who don't know where the banquet is, the people who've been hurt by the church or estranged by the church, people who've rejected the church because they think they know what the church teaches. And they've rejected it and walked away. Jesus' heart is burning for them. He's always going after the lost. He wants them in. What does the Father say? My banquet hall must be filled. This is the banquet hall. He wants it filled. His heart burns that our hearts would burn for him. That the fire that fills him would fill us. Again, that image of the Sacred Heart filled with fire. That's what we do. We have the audacity to come forward and we consume fire. That's what the Eucharist is. It is a morsel from the Sacred Heart of Jesus, which is this glorious inferno. And we come forward like Isaiah, and God reaches in, grabs a coal, and says, put this in your mouth. Consume this. Consume this. He wants our hearts to burn. That every person we would meet would be moved to ask us, what is it about you? What is it about you? What do you have? Who do you know? Like the prayer that I pray for every single one of us for this parish every single day is that we would be a parish that provokes hunger in people, that we would be a parish that provokes thirst and curiosity, that people would shake us by the lapel, shake us by our garments and say, let me go with you. Let me go with you, for I've heard somehow that God is with you. And I suspect this is already kind of happening a little bit here. You've heard Deacon Rich share the amazing news over the last few weeks over and over again. The people keep trickling into our Becoming Catholic series. What are we up to, 25 now? 25 adults? 25. Easter Vigil is going to be bonkers. It's going to be so good. And some kids, like, it's so awesome. It's so awesome. So I think it is happening. But let's just pray that it happens more.